Welcome to the Sports Nuts. Last minute betting, that's right. We're here. And you know what? We're like Wilt Chamberlain after a game. That's all I can tell you. After a big game. That's how we feel today. Because I won a lot of money yesterday and over the weekend, so I am pumped. The heck with everything else. This boy knows how to put a parlay together that wins. This guy here. This guy. See if you can help me this tonight, guys. Help me win. Help me help you win. We're brought to you by OddsJam, the premier odds comparison company for sports bettors worldwide. Go to oddsjam.com right now /subscribe. And you know what? Start your 7-day free trial. Good evening, gentlemen. Sorry that we didn't make it here because of internet problems over the weekend, and it wasn't my internet that was the problem. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was everywhere. That is definitely true. At least in our area, it was down everywhere. So
right.
That was a bummer, but some good games over the weekend and later in the week there, starting Thursday.
Not many upsets.
No, not a bunch. No, not really. I mean, Arkansas, not a lot of people maybe saw that coming, but matchups are important. And while Arkansas may have not been as good as some of the other teams in the SEC that we thought were maybe better teams, they got the favorable matchups. So, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude! Well, I don't even know why you're doing that.
Why do you think that Aaron Rodgers is really attractive? I'm glad.
I put it in there because.
All right, well, you're getting off subject. Let me get his comments real quick. Hey, my internet went out the other day too. Nice, or not nice? That sucks. But yes, hopefully, as he says, Brandon. Thanks for tuning in as always. Hopefully, we get another winning parlay tonight. Yeah, we're gonna do our best here.
Okay.
Small NHL slate.
I put that picture up there because there's a new thing in the studio, and I just wanted to try that, and that was the picture I put up just to give the little guy up there in Canada some crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's obviously the reason you did that.
That's right. And by the way, watch, Justin, we are pounding Vancouver. They're done. The Blues are pounding the Canucks. Your favorite.
Sure.
I mean, a couple of big wins for them, obviously. I mean, the one thing I will say, Vancouver was able to squeak out the 1 point that got to overtime, so you could have really buried them, maybe. But, I mean, there's a long ways to go, Bob. I mean, there's a long ways to go.
Let me give you something right now. I'll put this in a leg of the parlay. I'll put this in a leg of the parlay right now. New Jersey's beating Vancouver tonight.
Oh, I already know where you're going.
Yeah. You want me to give you 2 legs to the parlay? I can do it right now.
Okay, we're doing the parlay already. Okay.
I'm gonna start off. I'm just gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm taking New Jersey tonight, and I'm taking Dallas tonight. Oh, you know where I'm going, Mike. That's 2 losses that will be in my team's favor.
Yeah, I know where you're going, and it's going to backfire probably because you're just going to fade the teams the Blues are trying to catch or are ahead of, and that's going to be your strategy. And
I'll tell you what I'll do.
Foolish.
I'll just put a little 2-leg parlay, and these are actually in my Dub Club picks. If you want to know about Dub Club, get on X and follow me, and I'll just put in my 2 picks I had for Dub Club today. New Jersey money line, Dallas -1.5. That's plus 309. What can we get it at? Circa plus 297. That is a Bob parlay for today. So there you go. You don't want me to put them in our regular
you
parlay?
You can put the one you like the most in there.
I actually like both of them.
Okay, well then add them both, and we'll make it a 4-leg parlay.
I actually do. I actually like them both, but I'm willing to jump off of here and go into something else. The only other thing that I see is Detroit and Utah, and I could see that game at over 5.5, and that's what I'll take in that. Well, no, over 6. We'll take over 6. It's the most popular one. Get us more odds. Over 6. There's a leg to the parlay right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Guess I'll go. Justin, unless you got one.
I got one. Yeah, I can go next.
Go ahead.
I'll take Boston on the spread.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotta find them first. Well, we can get a -4 DraftKings and Caesars. Let's take that. All right. That is 2 legs. Let's see where we're at. All right. What do you got, Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to go into this T-Wolves Pacers game. Obviously, Indiana has been hot, but, Minnesota losing to them a couple of games ago in overtime, tough loss. I'm going to back the Timberwolves here on the money line.
Okay. And, yeah, I like that one. That bumped it up to over 5 something, plus 573 on FanDuel. So we've got Utah and Detroit over 6 goals, the Celtics -4, and the T-Wolves on the money line. That is a Stevie B parlay. The Stevie B parlay brought to you by OddsJam, the premier odds comparison company for sports bettors worldwide. So, let's talk about what I think is the most controversial and probably the dumbest coaching move that I may have seen in college basketball in a long time. And that happened in the St. John's, Arkansas game, where Rick Pitino pulled R.J. Lewis being the best player on the St. John's team, and also the Big East Player of the Year. Guy having a rough day, 3 for 17, but he's your best player. Pitino put him on the bench the rest of the game. The guy didn't play. I'm sorry. And then has the audacity to say after the game at the press conference, it's the most devastating defeat of my career. So then why didn't you play the Big East Player of the friggin' Year?
Yeah, I mean, I know he was struggling, but yeah, I mean, when you're in a game like that down the stretch, you want your best player out there. And it certainly didn't help having him on the bench because St. John's couldn't get a bucket to save their life. So, I mean, yeah, it certainly doesn't make much sense to have your best player on the bench when you're in, a game of that magnitude. And even though he is struggling, I mean, the guy gets to the free throw line, maybe gets him a couple of free throws that gets him going. You see that all the time with guys that are struggling throughout a game, shooting poorly, but in crunch time, they just drive, get to the line, get them a couple of free throws, and then try to help them get in a rhythm that way. Anything. And let's face it, there was a time they were really desperately needing a 3-point shot. And I think he's probably as likely to make a 3 than anybody on the team, is evidenced by the fact nobody could. So I'd rather my best player be taking a shot at the 3 even if he is shooting poorly, I'd rather him shoot it than somebody else that didn't make it anyway, you know? So, I mean, the decision clearly showed it wasn't the right decision. If they win that game, sure. But that clearly was not the right decision. And it definitely had you scratching your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's up, Stephen Batsa? He says, howdy, gentlemen. He has a big parlay with one possible adjustment. Nuggets money line to Bulls plus points. Okay, so you're taking the Nuggets money line plus points. You're taking the total? Is that what you're saying there? Or you got two? I mean, because you can't parlay money line and the spread, obviously. So you got money line and the total. So over in that game is what you're thinking? Let me know what your thoughts are there. Yeah, Nuggets in off a second of a back-to-back. Got a big win last night. Jamal Murray was outstanding, and another win for them with Jokic out of the lineup. They've done that a couple of times, so that's probably pretty good for them and some of these guys heading down the stretch here to feel good about themselves that they're getting their game going as well. Bulls coming off that big win against the Lakers.
Yeah, I can't believe that happened. I mean, and Josh Giddey almost got a quad double. That's
well, yeah, and you had Kobe White had 36, you know. That one guy, who's that guy that forward for them? He had like 31. The guy averages like 7 points a game. He had 31. So that was a big factor. I mean, two guys with 30 plus points in your lineup, plus Giddey with a damn near quadruple double. So yeah, not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I know it's only one game, but I mean, yeah, if the Lakers want to win a championship, yeah, they can't have too many of those games. It's very...
No, they can't. And it was a good time to, they'd lost to Milwaukee, got thumped by Milwaukee. Now, albeit no LeBron or Luka that game. So this was the one you got to take care of business against Chicago, especially. So yeah, that was not good, and it was at home too, so that's even worse.
Would he have been the first player since Wilt to get a quad dub if he would have gotten it?
Man, that's a good question. Something tells me maybe somebody got one that.
No, I think Wilt's the only one.
It may be, and that probably is the case.
Yeah, I think Wilt is the only one.
Yeah, imagine if he would have gotten it. That would have been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a little crazy.
Almost as crazy as the Joker's 30-20-20.
Rob, hold on. We got David Robinson.
Did he get a quadruple double?
Potentially. It's what it looks like, but I'm not.
Nope.
I'm not seeing any. Nate Thurmond, 1974 for the Bulls. 1986, Alvin Robertson. Hakeem had one in 1990. He had 18 points, 16 rebounds, 11 blocks, 10 assists. So Hakeem had one. 94, David Robinson. So Robinson's the last one in 94. And Hakeem had one in 90.
Good stuff there, Mike. All right. I want to take a look at a couple things here real quick, so bear with me. All right. One thing is I want to look at the standings in the West, where OKC is on top, followed by Houston, Denver, the Lakers, Memphis, and Golden State. Those are your top 6. And then we've got the Clippers, Sacramento, and Phoenix after that. Thoughts on the West? And I see you, Mr. Batsa.
Yeah, I mean, I was just to say his parlay there. I mean, I got the T-Wolves in our little parlay. Justin has the Celtics. Bob likes the Devils and the Stars. I kind of like the Island. I mean, that may have a chance, Stephen. That may have a chance. But to answer your question, thoughts on the West? I don't think Houston has a chance. I don't buy Houston. Good young team, bright future, not buying them. You know, I think this is ultimately, Bob, a 3-team race in the West. Okay. I think it's OKC, the Lakers, and Denver.
All right. Yeah. And then what about the East here? With Cleveland, Boston, New York, Indiana.
Yeah, nobody but Boston or Cleveland.
Okay. Detroit in the top 6, followed by Atlanta, Orlando, Chicago, and Miami, which means that you got a team 11 games under 500 that could make the play-in games. Wow. Talk about a joke of a league. People shouldn't make fun of the NHL anymore.
No, I mean, that's not very good having a team 11 games under 500 in the playoffs.
No, not at all.
That's ugly. That's not attractive at all. I mean, who even wants to watch that game, you know?
Well, I mean, get rid of the play-in tournament. I mean, at this point, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, in the East, let's be honest, guys. I mean, it's Cleveland or Boston. I mean, nobody's at one time I thought, you know, maybe New York could make some. I'm not buying New York anymore in the slightest. And even then I didn't think heavily. Not buying Indiana. No, it's Cleveland or Boston, guys. And I don't think there's even a question. I mean, you could talk about, well, who could potentially be a sleeper. Okay. I guess, but good luck because ain't nobody beating Cleveland and Boston. And if you're going to go to the NBA Finals, you're probably going to have to beat both of those teams to get there. Not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's going to be Lakers, Thunder, and Cleveland, Boston, more than likely, unless, you know, we see 2021 come alive again and there's a ton of injuries. And Atlanta's in the Eastern Conference Finals, and yeah, but who knows? Anything can still happen.
Yeah. Yep. No,
I got a question. Why do some people think that the Clippers can be contenders?
No clue.
I don't see that at all.
I don't see that in the slightest.
Who's smoking weed?
There probably are, yeah, because I don't like who's Kawhi's number 2 on that team. Like, who is it? You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I guess you could argue Harden, but I mean, no, not even slightly thinking the Clippers would lean Minnesota with a better chance than the Clippers, and even Minnesota, not this year. I don't see Minnesota replicating what they had going in last year's playoffs. And, you know, I think Karl Anthony Towns is missed in Minnesota because he's having a pretty damn good year with the Knicks.
Yeah, he really is. I agree.
I never thought Julius Randle was a good fit for Minnesota. I mean, I don't like that trade.
All right, let me move on to something here. So here we are in the NHL with Florida in the Atlantic, Toronto, Tampa Bay. Those are your top 3 teams, with Ottawa and Montreal contending for that for the wild card, and I think Detroit's probably out of it by now. When we move along to, and bear with me, guys, because it's the first time I've done this. When we move on to the Metropolitan Washington with the best record in the NHL and leading the Eastern Conference, followed by Carolina and Jersey. Then you've got the Rangers, who are in danger of missing a playoff spot. And the Islanders, Rangers are in trouble, guys. And that's a team that a lot of people thought were really going to contend this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, me included, but not sure. You know, I mean, Detroit at one time was looking like they were a potential playoff team, and look at that. I think the Rangers still have plenty of season left to get in there, to be honest with you.
And this battle for the
we've already
Atlantic
seen
Division,
one team fall off.
You got Florida, Toronto, and Tampa Bay. That's a hell of a battle there for the top spot, or to be able to play one of the top two spots in the conference. That's a big battle. I don't even know who's going to come out ahead there. I know Tristan. I know what he thinks, don't you, Mike?
Yeah, we know where he's going to be leaning. Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. Ottawa definitely has proven that they are. I mean, they're sitting comfortably here. They play 2 games less than the Rangers,
Right.
Same amount as Montreal, and they're 4 points ahead of Montreal, 5 ahead of the Rangers. And then you got the Islanders. Huh?
I'd like to see them make it, wouldn't you?
I think Ottawa will make it. I mean, I don't. It's going to take a pretty big collapse, I think, for them to miss out with the way they've been playing.
Let's ask our Canadian friend here. What do you think? Do you like the idea of the Ottawa Senators being in the playoffs? What does that mean anything to y'all in Canada?
Well, I mean, aren't the Ottawa Senators kind of like the New York Knicks of the NHL?
Well, they don't have quite the history the Knicks do, okay?
Well, right, but I don't know. I mean, maybe.
There's one thing I'll say about Ottawa that they have done, especially if they get matched up with Montreal, which it doesn't look like that's going to happen because they're both wild card teams. But anytime those two teams get in a series together, it's usually ugly, and it's usually, some pretty rough and tough hockey.
Right.
They've got a little bit of a history. I mean, I think there was one year they met up in the playoffs, and I think half the benches for both teams was, in the box, sent out, kicked out. I mean, they had a couple of big brawls. So Ottawa does like to get in. When Ottawa gets in the playoffs, they do make. They're pretty rowdy.
That's when they're playing Montreal, man. That's their arch rival, right?
Yes, they are a big rival, but even despite that, yes, it's more enhanced with Montreal when they're matched up with them. But you got a guy in Brady Tkachuk there now who loves to be. I mean, Ottawa's going to be. This would be his first. They're going to be a thorn. They're going to be a thorn in your freaking side, foot, hand, wherever. I mean, they're going to be that.
It'd be Brady's first playoffs. All right.
Yep.
The West, Central Division, Winnipeg with the best record in the West, followed by Dallas and Colorado in the top 3 spots. Minnesota next, followed by St. Louis. The Blues now have the last playoff spot as we speak, but the Calgary has 3 games in hand on them. But the Blues are only 4 points behind Minnesota, and they are on a 6-game winning streak and have won 7 in a row at home. Justin, start using this hashtag LGB, okay? Let's go Blues. You got it?
I thought you were going somewhere else with that, but okay. Okay.
That in any of your posts on X from now on, could you put that hashtag LGB in there?
Well, here's the problem, Bob. I mean, you've wrapped this thing up already. You're talking about
no,
how
I
to
haven't.
ride on.
No.
Well, let me finish. Can I just finish?
My
Can I just
team on,
finish?
I don't want. Hold on. I'm not going to let you lie. Okay.
I'm not lying.
That's a lie.
Your
I do
attitude
not
and the
think they
things
have
you
it wrapped
said.
up. I just said Calgary has 3 games in hand on them. You do not listen to my words.
You mentioned before. You mentioned at the start of the show Vancouver and how Vancouver was buried out of it, done, game, set, match.
They're done.
Really? Well, keep in mind they have 76 points. They have 2 games in hand with the Blues. So they win both of those games.
One after tonight, and they're going to lose tonight. So
maybe we'll see. But and then Minnesota, while they're 4 points behind Minnesota has 2 games in hand with them.
I know. I realize that.
I mean, the thought that they're right on Minnesota's tail, just breathing down their necks heavily, is a little far-fetched, I think.
They're as close as
and all it's going to take for Montreal with 3 games in hand and only 4 points behind
Montreal,
Calgary. It's not going to take Calgary a whole lot to jump the Blues in that last wild card spot. So the Blues are going to have to continue to play this unbelievable hockey they're playing. But here's the other thing, Bob. How many times on their schedule are they going to play the Anaheim Ducks, the Nashville Predators, the Chicago Blackhawks? How many times are they going to play those types of teams down the stretch?
They have the easiest schedule in the league down the stretch.
Well, yeah, they still have Nashville one more time, but they got Pittsburgh, who they lost to. You still have to play Colorado twice, Winnipeg, Edmonton.
Let's go. Let's go.
Well,
it's time to get ready for the playoffs, baby.
We'll see. I'm not sure if they can hold on. I think. Okay. I mean, they're doing this without their best defenseman, arguably one of their most important players, in Colton Parayko. I'm afraid that's going to catch up to him at some point.
Okay. And thank you for your comments there. By the way, if you want me to respect your hockey opinion, make sure that you get the right team that's trailing in them.
Okay, I corrected myself and said Calgary, Bob. I corrected myself. We were talking about Montreal and Ottawa in the wild card race. I mixed my conferences up for a brief moment.
Yeah, you sure did.
I corrected myself. But again, Calgary has 3 games in hand, dude, and they're only 4 points behind. I mean,
I realize that. I'll take care of Calgary here in a bit.
How?
I think Minnesota's the one that needs to worry right now.
Why? They've got 2 games in hand and they're 4 points ahead.
I don't think that their team defensively is on as good of a footing as they need to be. They've been struggling a little bit. Let's see.
Well, I will say, I will give you this because looking at Minnesota's schedule right now, Dallas tonight, then Vegas tomorrow night, then Washington, 2 games with New Jersey. Then they get the Rangers and Islanders, who are both battling for their playoff lives. So Minnesota, and then Dallas again, they don't get a let up until they face San Jose. And then they end with Calgary, Vancouver, and Anaheim. So, yeah, I mean, Minnesota's schedule down the stretch is brutal and filled with teams fighting for their playoff lives. So,
yeah, absolutely. So when we look at the Pacific Division, Vegas leading the way. They're only separating the Kings and the Oilers is 5 points. And then, of course, we know Calgary in Vancouver vying for a playoff spot. You know what? I'm not as concerned with the Pacific Division as I was last year. I think those teams are coming back to earth a little bit, 87 points. There's not as much separation. 92 for first place when you're sitting over there with Winnipeg at 100, and Winnipeg wants that first round against a wild card team. And you know what? I hope they get it, and I hope they play the Blues.
Well, yeah, Winnipeg's definitely having an outstanding year. Dallas, with the moves they made, are right in the mix. Colorado as well. I mean, I think they're going to be tough come playoff time. I would say the team representing the Western Conference in the Stanley Cup Finals is going to come out of the Central Division. It's either Winnipeg, Dallas, or Colorado, I think. I think Colorado's got a better chance than anybody in the Pacific, including Edmonton. So we'll see.
I'll buy that.
The only thing that sucks is that second round, Winnipeg I mean, your reward because of the playoff format, your second round matchup is going to be against one of the best teams in the conference in just the second round. That's crap. I mean, they need to go back to. That's the one thing I don't like about the NHL playoffs. Go back to 1 through 8. Go back to the 1-8 matchups. I mean, I don't like this second round. I don't know how many times we've seen two teams in the second round. They play in the same division, and they're two of the best teams in the damn conference. And they got to play each other in the second round. No.
Absolutely. Agree with you 100%.
Don't like that.
Agree with you 100%. All right. Let me do something here because there is some live EV going on here, boys. And I'd like to at least take a look at it and share with y'all. This is the OddsJam website. We got Florida State and LSU. Now we're at halftime. So, end of quarter 2, which is halftime. Let's just kind of see. I just want to look at
that's at the end of the first quarter, isn't it?
No, it says end of quarter 2.
Which I'm showing halftime. End of quarter 1.
That's not what it says.
You're wrong.
State, LSU in women college basketball.
Okay.
Live.
I mean, it's showing on every other. It's showing end of quarter 1 where I'm looking.
Are you looking on the website? Are you looking on the positive EV page?
No, go to the Sportsbook and look and see what it says.
Okay, so then we have it wrong?
It's very possible right now. It could be a mistake, but I'm showing end of the first. End of first meet because they do quarters in women's college basketball.
Right.
So I think you read it wrong.
No. Mike.
Yes. You saw end of the first. You saw end of first. That means end of first quarter.
No, Mike. It says end of Q2. Can you read that? Can you see that?
No, I can't.
Do I need to blow it up? Well, I can't blow it up more. End of Q2.
Okay.
Yeah, I have end of Q1 though. So
okay. So we have a mistake there. Let's make sure that we
you better take a screenshot now, and
I'm doing it right now. So take over, okay?
I will. Matter of fact, we'll go to the EV page and see what we got out here pregame. Couple of tennis plays. Over 22.5 total games here, minus 130 on DraftKings. I'm probably going to look at jumping on that. Right now I'm looking at, I don't have any player props pulled up. Team total, Kings under 109.5. I actually like this. I mean, it's not the best play. And I mean, if you look at it from the aspect, pretty well, every book's offering you plus odds on it. I mean, you could grab it at plus 105, plus 106, obviously the route we would want to go, but you even got a plus 104, plus 100. So again, not the most incredible play. A lot of books are pretty aligned on this, but we like Boston tonight, and I think that they can hold the Kings in check, at least keep them under 110 points.
Yeah, hopefully that happens, and then the Celtics get 110. Well, actually, no, it needs to be 114 at least.
Right. Yeah, I think we're okay there. Anything else? There's an alt line on Orlando plus 6.5. I think this is a spot the Lakers should take care of business fairly easily. Point spread, Hard Rock's offering Celtics minus 1.5 for minus 145. You're paying some juice, obviously, but I mean, if you want a safe play, there you go. You don't get much safer than that. And I got to be honest with you, I'm going to jump on that. I'm going to sip a little bit of juice, but not nearly as much juice as I could be sipping. When you look across the board here, you got some minus 170s here. Fliff just robbing you. Minus 175. There's an almost 20-cent difference in your average odds compared to the odds you're getting it at. So I'm actually going to hit that little alternate line there on the point spread, but I'm okay with it.
Celtics -3 on Hard Rock.
Is that EV2? There, that on there, the EV page 2 somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, -3.5, -3, so -2.5. I mean, we could ladder the hell out of the Celtics here if we wanted. Hard Rock's just, I mean, they're just offering all kinds of good value on this game. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'll do that. I think I'll ladder them. I'll definitely take the -2.5.
Do we like Bucks tonight against Suns or not? Justin?
Maybe, yes, because the Suns didn't the Suns beat the Cavaliers?
They just beat the Cavs. Yeah, they're riding pretty high, and
yeah, I think they'll lose tonight. I think the Suns will lose tonight.
Okay.
But here's the key. It's Budenhauser's revenge spot, right? That's what worries me. He hasn't been playing Phoenix. Remember, he was the coach. He was the coach that won the championship with them in 2021. Remember?
Right.
That worries me. That worries me that his players, especially considering Phoenix has been playing better, they may get up for this game for their head coach, unless there's issues there with the players, which I've kind of heard that's a possibility maybe.
Who'd you hear from?
I mean, I've just seen some articles on, and then I've seen some, going into timeouts where he was trying to talk to Durant or Booker, and they're just kind of, I mean, it just feels like maybe they're not sold on him as a head coach for whatever reason.
Kevin Durant's a wine bag.
Why you say that?
Because he's never happy.
Well, he's he's had some unfortunate things happen to him, but there's
like
been
what? What's unfortunate?
Well, I mean, didn't Draymond Green not like verbally abuse him on the court that one time?
I mean, Mike gets verbally abused by me all the time. You don't see him whining and crying.
Well, that he comes back though, and he can roast you hard. That's the difference.
But you don't think Kevin Durant can come back?
Well, yeah, but that's different though. That's on a basketball court. You're teammates. I mean, I don't care. Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr in the face. I mean, that happens, but you don't do that on the floor. You don't.
Okay. If we ever play basketball together, trust me, I'm going to be dogging you.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, like you could keep up to me. You always complain about your arthritis and whatnot. I mean, how the hell can you do that?
I ain't no kidding. Well, boys, that's all I got in terms of and no more bets that I'm going to jump on. I laddered the Celtics there. Parlay should be solid tonight, and should be good to go.
Yeah, let's win it again.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That would definitely be cool. I would like that. All right, let's wrap it up, folks. Thanks for joining us. Another great edition of Last Minute Betting, brought to you by it's a company for sports bettors worldwide. #LGB.